Welcome back, everybody. So I wanted to show off how I did my rig in my Unreal Engine Stickman project. Basically, I used Auto Rig Pro, and what I noticed is I was actually leaving these bones straight up and the neck bone straight up because that worked for a previous model. For this particular model, it was not working very well. As you can see, there's some very strange bending going on here, and what happened was because I left it nice and straight up, it didn't like that, and it pretty much bends them. Well, it accepts it because that's the way I put it in the model, but it's gonna bend it when it's retargeting, and so that's what I'm gonna fix today, and that's what I'm gonna show you guys, because I noticed too that I also left the neck a little too close to the back, and I want to push that forward and fix this whole area because the neck bones are actually inside the head, and I don't want that. So that's what we're gonna fix right now. So in Blender, you install Auto Rig Pro, watch a video on the basics. This is more about some quality of life type of situation if you want to get a good rig into Unreal Engine, right? That's what I'm going to talk about. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started with it all set up. I click on my object that I want to rig, and I'm just going to say a few things about the rig. It's got a high vertice count because I want it to bend really well and I don't want any artifacts. It's at 43 tries, 21 faces, and it's not too bad, especially nowadays. It's not bad at all, so I'm happy with that. So what I'm gonna do is, in the rig mode, I'm gonna press get selected objects, and it's gonna say full body. Okay, we're gonna start off with the neck. That button right there, put it right here, press 3 on the numpad, and start setting these AI thing that they have going on, right? Because this is like an automatic, process that they did. It's really good, actually. I like Auto Rig Pro a lot. I've used it a few times and it always works out pretty well for me. So the wrist right there, or no, these are shoulders. Okay, so I'm trying to do this quickly so I don't want to mess up, because then I'll have to record this again. And fixing my shoulders, I like to have them right there in the middle of the arms, and for this particular model I want them right there at that bending location. So I'm gonna keep moving. Add the wrist I want it right here. Press 3 and just line it up with the shoulder area. Next is the spine, and that I actually liked that one. It works really well in that little bendy area as well. Move that, kind of straighten it up a little bit, and yeah. So add the ankles. So the ankles things, that's kind of something I just started messing around with a little more, but I particularly like it right there, and that's about it. So very quick, very easy to set this part up. Not too much to talk about there, but this is the part where things get interesting. So I have it set up on the UE5 Manny Quinn. I don't have any fingers for this model. I want 6 spine bones, and I want it arched, and I want the clavicles tilted. All this is exactly the way it should be, right? It's vanilla, that's how it comes, but just in case it doesn't, this is my setup. Okay, so I left that up, and now I'm gonna go ahead and overwrite this. Beautiful. So now we really get to the interesting part here. This is something I fixed myself. As you can see, you're gonna have to work on this model a bit. It's not perfect, and I was showing this for that reason. What I noticed is that these bones at the bottom are actually small. As you can see, spine 1, spine 2, spine 3, and spine 4. This is a longer one, and then spine 5 right there. So you'll have to study how this looks and try your best to get it like this in your skeleton, but I'm going to show you that process so you're not alone. And I like to make that like that. Push this down as well. So in particular, this, I just grabbed that little ball right there and I mush it down. This one is smaller, and then this spine 2 is just a little bigger. And then the spine 3 is just a little bigger than that one as well. The spine 4, this one is really important because it actually makes it look the most like the Unreal Engine one, because it's such a long bone in the actual mannequin. As you can see right here, it's like from here to here, it's like this whole chest plate area. So that really helped when I figured this out. And so I'm gonna move that up, press it at 3 so I can see it in orthographic mode. And yeah. Okay, so here, this is where I really learned the most and got it to look the best. Like I said, I like to just grab the ball. I don't move everything all at once. This is an art form as well, right? There's so many people that study how to rig, and you have to take your time with it to learn and understand it. And I took a photo of the one I did like. So let's just, it's a process, like I said, guys. Let me just get this photo out so I can really show off what I did. So as you can see, the spine bone, this one is not even that big. I made this one way longer, and I think I'm gonna keep it just to see what happens. But this one's a little slightly smaller than the one I just made right now, and this area is up in front of this area. And then especially the neck, I put it underneath this little bendy jaw area, and that was straight up. So I just want to make sure I kind of have that same thing. And this is the way I actually work. I'll take photos, I'll double check what I do, and just make sure it's correct. So I actually want that right there. And we're actually gonna move this whole thing up a little bit too, but still keeping the bend. And here as well, like I said, the neck in the mannequin is actually like tilted, so it's like this. But then this is the head bone, and that's actually straight up. So we can actually keep this nice and straight. So I think that's good for what I've learned, and actually made this a lot longer. I don't think I want it that long. So I'm just gonna make it like that, because then this, as we could see, like the chest plate area that I was talking about, it's pretty much right here in the chest, and the spine 05 is also like right there in the chest. So if I kind of consider my model like that, I would say, yeah, this is its chest area. I would say that. So yeah, that's kind of how you want to think about it. And I'm just gonna fix up the wrist and on my hand. This is actually the hand, so it's gonna deform very nicely. I'll show you that in a bit, because I put the wrist in here when I was first doing that AI part, and this will mean that this will be the hand, and this will be my wrist, and this will be my elbow. And I just like to have that in the little bendy areas as well. So that's good. That's good. Everything else came out pretty good. I have nothing to say about that. I will fix the legs as well. Like I said, I personally like this nice and straight on my previous version, so I'm actually gonna keep it nice and straight right there. And these right here are actually better off kind of closer to the back of the foot. So I'm just gonna set these up a little better than they are right now. And that's number 7 on the numpad. And I personally think that's fine. Yeah. Okay. So like I said, that's a process. It's a learning process, right? So if it takes you more than one try, don't be discouraged. It's gonna work. Then with that done, match to rig. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna Control S to save where I'm at. And the next part is to do the automatic weight maps. The way we do that is by clicking the model, but we're in pose mode, so we gotta go object mode, grab the object, click the rig area, and now we go to skin and bind that. These are my settings for all of this. It's vanilla. Like I said, I didn't change much or anything at all, to be honest, in all these buttons on the side. I didn't change anything here, so it works out just fine like that. With that done, we can actually go to pose mode now. Click on the arm thing, and you can see you'll have automatic weights. And like I said, I personally like this. I'm happy with that, and yeah. Okay, that's pretty much it for this part, and we can export. So I'm just gonna Control S to save, and I personally like to go to object mode. I'll click my first object, and I'll click my rig, and I go to export. I already have a few models that I did. I'm gonna do Stickman 04 for you guys, and then here are my settings for the side. That kind of ruins it. So I leave everything the same. You know, I'm exporting to Unreal Engine, and all this stuff is vanilla the way it was. I don't do anything, but just in case you want to take a look, this is my settings, and that's it. So I just export. Okay, with that exported, I'm gonna open up the project that I want to put this into, and I'm gonna go to my folder where I have everything set up, Stickman. Okay, so actually I'm gonna make another folder. New folder, we'll call this Stick 04, I think is what we did. And I'm gonna import that model. I don't do anything special, everything is exactly vanilla, and I don't touch anything at all. And I'm just gonna import that. Save all, and that's it. Now, to retarget is very simple. You just go ahead and go into an animation that you want to grab. Here in this Clazy anim pack that I bought, there's one that I have been judging everything off of. It's called the idle. You can use any idle that you want. It's all gonna do the same thing. So you find the one that you want to retarget. You go to retarget, right click, retarget animations, and you find it again. Well, actually you don't need to find it again, excuse me. What you need to do is find your model. So I have Stickman 04, that's the first one I made, and Stickman 04 is the new one that I just made. I actually need to export retarget assets, and I'm gonna go ahead and export that into my Stick 04 folder. Export that. Save all. And inside the RTG auto generated that we just made, we are gonna watch how our retarget is gonna work. We target offset our mesh over here, and we look for the idle that I wanted to retarget, and that's this one. Okay, and now I like it better because the way the inside of the chest bends in now on this one, and let me actually open up my other one, my Stickman retargeter. I believe it's this one. Yeah, we were just here. As you can see, that pushes in. So let's see if I can find the same idle. Well, this is for a different situation, but as you can see here though, we have a bend. This is just a normal A pose. So if I do the same thing here, where I just do the A pose, you can see that it doesn't it doesn't bend it so badly at all, or bend at all, or have like that weird hump back here that we had. And that's the reason why I did this, because now it's kind of more normal. So that's pretty much the video right there. That's all I wanted to do. I hope it helps at least one person. And yeah, enjoy your day.